The Flight Sim story is one of ups and downs. From the birth of the series dating back to 1982, Microsoft has captivated simmers with new technology and new ways for us to enjoy the sim. In 1982, Microsoft licensed the first flight sim from Sublogic. From that point on, they continued to produce new versions of the early days of Flight Simulator. 2004 came around and Microsoft renamed Ace Game Studios, pushing it out the latest version of Flight Simulator, adding in features and graphics that were unheard of at the time. But the sunshine only lasted a few years, as Ace Game Studios was to close after launch of Flight Sim X, laying off the entire team. Created but not part of the Flight Sim series, Flight was launched in 2012. And as quickly as the graphics wowed the world, it faded away in the shadows as it was canceled, as it really never took off. That brings us to the modern era of Flight Simulator, with Asobo now taking the duties of creating the future of Flight Simulator. Asobo Studios is an independent game development company based in France. They're not owned by Microsoft or Xbox Game Studios. However, Asobo has been contracted by Microsoft to develop Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft owns the Flight Simulator franchise and maintains full creative control over the project. It's important to be clear though, Microsoft didn't hand over the rights to Flight Simulator. Instead, Microsoft sets creative directions and priorities for the game, and Asobo develops the sim according to those requirements. Microsoft retains ownership of the property. Jorg, who works at Microsoft, leads the entire Microsoft Flight Simulator franchise. He oversees not just the publishing side, but also the overview, vision, development priorities, and coordinates with Microsoft teams such as those managing Bing and the cloud services, which power many of the simulator features. Xbox Game Studios also employs community managers who engage with players and manages communications for the franchise. These roles sit on Microsoft's side, not Asobo's. So when we talk about the potential impacts of Xbox layoffs that have happened across the several different development teams at Microsoft, it's those Microsoft employee teams, like community managers, project leads, or publishing staff, that could be affected. Asobo's developers are not Xbox employees and wouldn't be directly impacted by Microsoft. However, changes on the Microsoft side, such as shifting priorities or reducing staff, could influence the direction and pace of Flight Simulator's development. That said, so far, there are no public indications that the core Flight Simulator leadership, like Jorg's team, or critical support teams, have been impacted by these layoffs. But in a company as large as Microsoft, priorities can shift, and the effects of layoffs sometimes ripple into partner programs. It's important to talk about the breakdown of the July 2nd, 2025 Xbox layoffs. There were unfortunately 9,000 employees that lost their jobs at Microsoft. It's the fourth largest mass layoffs at Xbox in the past 18 months. Perfect Dark, which many people were super excited about, was unfortunately canceled. Rare was hit with layoffs, which is a very important studio at Microsoft. And the Sea of Thieves director, who is part of Rare, left as well. 50% of the Turn 10 team was laid off. And the Forza series is one of my favorites of all time when it comes to racing. And I know that Motorsport came out not too long ago, and it seems like that was the team that was hit the most. And it never really captured the attention that I think Microsoft and Xbox really wanted it to. And I've heard rumors that they've been working on the next Horizon series, which does much more successful than what the Motorsport series had done. King was also hit with massive layoffs, and multiple Call of Duty studios were hit with the layoffs. 50% of the Xbox user research team was also laid off. Head of child and family safety laid off as well. Blizzard got hit, of course, that's part of the Activision team. Got hit with the Warcraft Rumble team, which apparently hadn't done so well either, and they put that pretty much in maintenance mode, just like they did with Forza Motorsport. So on the plus side of things, when it comes to flight simulation, thankfully Asobo is the one that's working on it and putting in a lot of the money into it. Obviously, the money also is coming from Microsoft and the Xbox team to provide research and development into the flight sim community. So hopefully this means that going forward that the flight sim team at Microsoft and Xbox have no issues or nothing to worry about. Obviously, we know that the flight sim world is very niche, very small compared to a lot of the other major series within the gaming world, period. There's a lot of excitement of what Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 might look like once it's finished and it's a product that both Microsoft and Asobo say, yeah, we finally hit this mark and we can focus on the next series within the flight sim world. We have a little bit a ways to go. We're waiting for the Sim Update 3 to come out sometime. Hopefully, it looks like July. The last update looked to be pretty stable, at least on my end here. And we do know that there's rumors of a Sim Update 4 not too far from the launch of Sim Update 3 coming out. So we know that Asobo, Microsoft are putting in a lot of effort still into the simulator, and they likely will continue to do that. If you look at the numbers though across the board, I brought up on my streams many times, and that is the user base, at least on the Steam side. Now I don't have the Microsoft Xbox side, but on the Steam side, it's pretty much half. Flight Sim 2024 has about half of the users at any given time on that platform versus being on 2020. So that just tells you it hasn't matured yet, or people haven't found a reason to actually jump over to Flight Sim 2024. And that could be a little bit of concern because that means that if Flight Sim 2024 doesn't really hit the marks and the numbers that Microsoft and the Xbox team have been hoping for after a major success with Flight Sim 2020, it could mean that Microsoft will put less money into it or completely terminate the contract from Asobo, leaving Asobo stranded to do their own thing. And the concern with that would be that with Flight Sim 2024 being primarily based in the cloud on the Microsoft servers, it could spell disaster going forward with the software, right? When people are still using P3D, people are still using Flight Sim X because those don't require a consistent connection. Flight Sim 2024 does require that consistent connection. Flight Sim 2020 might not be able to last the tail of time as well, as that is using Bing mapping as well. So there are many concerns going forward with the Flight Sim world, and we're going to see what happens as things go on. As of right now, everything looks grand and beautiful, and we hope to keep it that way, of course, going forward. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you for the next one. Take care.